Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? This here is a video to 300 subscriber contest for 80 Eye Samurai. I gotta say, I've been in a couple chats, and I was really blowing it. I thought that I was subscribed, but I didn't. And when I did, I saw this, and what a great question. First of all, yes, I am 18 or older. Shout outs for those with under 100. I actually have a couple. The first one is Blaze PC. I mean, the books that this guy's showing, I'm not understanding. He's only got like 30 subs, but he's showing some heavyweight stuff, and he has a sell site on eBay. So I just thought it was really interesting. Everything he was showing was for sale, it seemed. So. But interesting nonetheless. Escargot T80, I'll give you another one, and someone from today, Bub's Comics. He's in the chat room with Tat and Tat Comics. Man, that was great. Fun lunchtime chats. It's pretty cool. All right, so there's my shout outs. Now, collecting styles when it comes to condition. Well, first I would probably say, when you're talking about a particular book that, let's say, the print runs are incredibly low and maybe only in the thousands, a few thousands, or as some have pointed out, in the 50s or hundreds, then to be honest, probably just getting one is good enough. Like this book here, I may put a 75, 80, 85 maybe, depending. But this book right here, it was signed back in the day by Dave Sim, the creator of Cerebus. And he was deliberately, in other words, in this particular case, he would take his two fingers and he would reach down and he would bend the corner of the book right here. He would only reveal enough of the first page so that he could draw a little head sketch and sign his name. He wouldn't open the book page front cover all the way up and give him ample room or ample whatever. He would literally bend the corner here of the comic. And that's what this one is. It's tough to see, but if I were to take this out, it's a little more pronounced. It just has a crease, totally put there by the creator of the book. And normally, me on a black cover and all that kind of stuff, I would have freaked out. But you know, and this one here has some spine ticks, which is common of this book, of this era. This is 1977. But the print run is such that I didn't care. Contrasting by what he said is, after that, you know, some people are modern collectors and they only collect, you know, 9/8. Well, when you're talking about a book like this, it runs into that category. There aren't a lot of these, and if I'm going to get one, I'm going to get one that is without spine ticks or whatever. In other words, I'm not going to settle for a VF near mint. I'm just not. I might consider buying a VF near mint with the full knowledge that that just means I'm going to get another one at one day that isn't. So where I might be satisfied with whatever I've got, if I could find it, yay. And the Thanos would be a response to that, but that's a modern book. When it comes to older stuff, now let's be honest. I mean, this is not a rare book. This is not possibly even a hard to find book in high grade. If you wanted this book, you could have it between $100 to $300 or $400, depending. Did you want it graded? Did you want it a specific grade? Did you want no spine ticks? Did you want, you know, all those factors, I guess you would say. Well, for the amount of times that I've seen this book, I saw this book and it was without a spine tick. It was centered, and it had what some might say is a little bit of white there. In other words, the staples are stapled into a white area of the book, and that, for me, cannot be anything less than straight. So I will not take a book that is off-cut, whereas I am saying I would take a book that is overcut. So in other words, if there's white showing, I'm okay with that as long as the white is straight. If it becomes at all off kilter, where it's less white at the top and more white at the bottom, I will pass. And so will I pass if I find a book that has date stamps, writing, anything that was man-made placed on that book. I won't do it. What up, y'all? I won't do it. So that is a breaker for me. I don't want anything written or stamped on a book. I have further examples, and that example is going to be like this book. See, this one here, there, the staples are literally right on the black line, and there isn't a whole lot in the way of excess or extra white hanging over the edge, but it is straight and very few spine ticks, and I'm okay with that. When I see the three corners being sharpish, and not so sharp, then I consider, is it dog-eared? And if so, I won't buy it. If it's smushed or rounded a little, smushed, not meaning like impact dented, but rounded, then it's okay. I'll go with that. But it's hard to buy corner folded books. It's very hard. And here's my last example. This one here, as you can see, has no focus. Now, has quite a pronounced overage or excess of white, but once again, it is completely straight and the staples are firmly affixed. The corners are, for the most part, square. I mean, that to me is a little rounded, but it's not folded. There's no creasing. And that corner is solid. And not a lot of spine tick action. So I don't mind the white, and in fact sometimes the white tends to hide possibly some of those possible ticks. So as long as it's straight and whatever, I'm okay with it. If it's cut off angle, no go. And so the idea then becomes, I mean, how many times have I seen that book? Well, I've seen a Spider-Man 100, not a whole lot, but enough. And every time the corners are bent, there's folds, the black has spine ticks, there's creasing, and I pass. And then one day I will find this. This was actually, I believe, I think this was encapsulated, but someone had cracked it out, and for that reason, they, in a sense, could say it was 9.0, but yeah, so I didn't pay the slabbed price. I ended up buying this for, honestly, I think this was $75-80 for the 100. This one here, I actually bought quite a long time ago, and it was one of those things that, yeah, I see this book a lot, but when you see that book in high grade with no spine ticks, it tends to be, $200 or something like that. Or graded, it could be, asking higher price. And everyone knows when you're talking about a book like that, to find it in fine shape is possible, and you can afford the fine shape, great. I just kept looking, and I bought that book many, many years ago, and I don't know. I probably paid like $40 for that book. But, but that just gives you an idea. I buy the highest condition book that I can, because it's harder to find them in good shape without some of those major flaws, date stamps, missing pieces, pages, whatevers, because those books are out there. If it's a book that's rare, or if it's a book that's modern and hard to find, then I certainly am not going to settle until, in my mind, I have a book, the condition that I mentally feel it should be in. As far as week books, like every Wednesday, I don't have a pull subscription or service with anybody. I do all my work on Wednesdays on my lunch break. I run in 1 hour to 2, very rarely 3, but for sure 2 comic stores, and I pick all my books myself off the rack, ensuring that I'm going to get the condition and the book that I want to buy. And then it kills me when I take it to the register and someone mishandles or grabs the books right in front of me. Now, this has gone on a while, but condition is a big thing with me. I want to mention something that happened the other day. I was leaving a store after doing a fill a short box, supposedly dollar books, but fill a short box. I had found on the shelf still, I had found the Jock variant to Gideon Falls. I had found several copies of Highest House, and I found the variant to #1 Highest House. I also found 2, 3, 4 of the female Batman White Knights cover. And I was so stoked that I found all these, that they were still on the shelves. I couldn't believe it. I was so stoked. And later, when I was picking up the short box, and I had the other box book, or the other books on top of the lid of the box, when I picked up the box, they slid off the front. They landed on the floor. The Jock variant got pretty bent in half, and Highest House regular copy got a corner ding, and as did all of the Batman White Knights women covers, even that white one with the 2 characters on the cover and all that. And I had to put them back. I blew it, and it was my bad, and I thought I had found something cool, and immediately coughed it right back up to the comic gods. So anyway, there you go. There's my thing. Congrats, ADI, on your 300. I'm pretty amazed that people subscribe, and we do this. So right on, good on you, and I hope that illuminate. Oh, and the characters I would mash up is Red Cerebus. That's actually Red Sophia and Cerebus from the comic all mashed up together, not like the Hulk. All right, I'm out. It's Pope Cerebus. Later.